All right, welcome anyone to the cast. I'm here with Vince, Vince Horn,
Hello.
the creator of all the googly icons and the server. I'm here with Vince,
Yes,
Vince
that was
Horn,
me. You can all blame me.
or thank him. I think thanking is the correct term.
It's about 50-50.
So we have a really interesting match here today. So we have Kingsley, widely considered one of the best dragon players in the world, Dragon Hatamoto. And I think he came
It's
in,
good.
was it fourth at Worlds? He only lost. He lost in the quarters to the eventual champion.
Right. Yeah, he played dragon against that lion, and that
Yep.
hashtag slogan. Anyways,
Just the shade. So we have him versus Yaba, who I am not familiar with. Have you played against this person, Vince?
I haven't. I'm very unfamiliar as well. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes.
He is playing a list similar to what Kalimsha is doing with Crab Splash. So it's gonna be aggro drop air Scorpion.
Yep, I definitely see that. Very very similar. In terms of the drop bear.
So he's running 3 Pathfinder's Blades, 3 Skirmishers. Now he is running a Reprieve, which not every list does. So he's making use of that final influence point, which will go, which can work with the charges that he's playing.
And I do like the reprieve, especially in the crab list, just because a reprieve, just like even one time on a Kachiko, can be very backbreaking.
That's very true, especially if you have like a duplicate, but you just can't get enough fate on her,
Exactly.
or she gets voided, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Pathfinder's
Just it's
Blade.
that little
Oh,
tech.
go ahead. Yeah, for sure. Pathfinder's Blade is going to be really key for the Scorpion player because ideally you want to basically Pathfinder's Blade against Restoration of Balance because that's the real card in this matchup because both players are going to be high bidding pretty much the whole match.
Oh yeah, this can be a bid 5 match. Never not 5.
And so both are. So Scorpion wants to Pathfinder's Blade and basically cancel Restoration of Balance, so they don't have to discard their hand, pretty much.
Yeah, it's interesting because on the opposite side, a Pathfinder's Blade against the Scorpion list is actually gonna be really interesting as well because you're gonna shut off those secret caches and meditations.
It's not as good against Scorpion's lineup. So Pathfinder's Blade really shines against. Yeah, Kiseki was mentioning Feast or Famine also. Yeah, Feast or Famine's another big province that you want to hit. Pathfinder's Blade on. The thing is, so a lot of these smaller repeatable provinces, Pathfinder's Blade doesn't shine as much against. It's like the one-shot provinces, like Public Forum, Feast or Famine, Restoration, Rally. It's like stuff you can basically just negate, and then the province doesn't do anything. But like stuff like
Yeah,
Meditations and Secret Cache, if you don't break it with your Pathfinder's Blade or on that first attack, like they just get to do it again.
true. Yeah, so definitely really interesting to see the reprieve in that list as well, but definitely something might need to be done with Pathfinder's Blade. We'll see.
We'll see. Okay, so Kingsley's list. Kingsley's running the pretty much I guess the standard dragon list. Like a lot of players have basically taken his list as a shell. It's actually the same. I'm running his exact 80 for this tournament. I have not changed a single card. I think it's just a very solid list, doing exactly what Dragon's trying to do. You're trying to Voltron up pretty much any of your 3 or 4 cost units. Not Yuruma, he doesn't count. But you're basically
No,
just
he's
trying to
just
suit
a
up.
charge target.
Yeah, he's a charge target, and ooh man, you can do some real nasty things with that card.
Mm-hmm.
He's there for charging. So pretty much you want to suit up your investigator, right? Sugu, Sumiko, Yokuni, and Neaton Master. All of those are all Voltron targets that can just become province taking machines.
Yeah, this is the definition of a Voltron deck, and the Crab Splash definitely gives a lot to this deck over anything like the Unicorn or even Lion, just because Pathfinder's Blade being 0 and a weapon makes the synergy with the Nintendo Master really good.
And people complaining that it's not restricted also is a pretty big deal.
Yeah,
I know Sideshow was going on a little bit of a tirade in strategy earlier today, just like
a little
complaining.
bit.
So looks like we're on one assassination. The charges are mostly for your or to combo with Yuruma. They obviously can charge any other target with reprieve. It's the standard crab combo. Charge Yokuni, Reprieve Yokuni, almost the same thing
Mhm.
as Kasada. We just don't have
Oh,
the Iron Minds and the Vanguard Warriors to keep them around for the
the
whole
rest
game.
of it,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So one thing to note, a lot of people might not know this, but Katsuki Iruma, when he enters the battlefield, he will turn an unbroken province face down. Now, if that province is being attacked, it immediately reflips. So if your opponent is attacking Restoration of Balance and they think they're safe and you charge Yuruma, you'll immediately hit them with Resto.
Yeah, it's a real nasty combo. Just reusing a lot of those reaction effects in the middle of a conflict,
You also
especially restoration.
you
It's
also
disgusting.
do get an extra fate from being Seeker of Fire.
Isn't that just a once per turn reaction still?
It is, but like say you do it on turn 1 and they hit like one of your fire provinces,
Ah,
and then the turn after that you do it. So
I see, yeah.
because he has courtesy, it's actually fate neutral because he replaces himself or he replaces the fate that you spend on him.
Yeah, it's so tiny there, but he has courtesy on the actual card itself, and that I think they knew what they were doing when they gave him courtesy because he's pretty much just paying the charge back.
And then also you can reset stuff like Shameful Display and Manicure Garden if you ever want to. You can use their ability again because when it gets turn face down, it does become a new card.
Yeah, he's definitely running the abusable provinces here. Even rally to the cause if you can charge something and flip it over to political, gives you that bonus with Yuruma being a 4 in political.
Yeah, it's pretty sick, right? You charge and then you immediately have a four defense in Paul.
Yeah, for one whole fate.
That's pretty strong. And then he replaces himself. So, looking over at the Scorpion list, we kind of looked at it. Running your standard bears, running 2 Cloud the Mines. He's got 3 Calling in Favors. Now, the real card in this matchup that will probably swing it one way or the other is going to be a Fate Worse Than Death.
Oh, 100%.
Now, a lot of people, when they first saw this card, they thought it might be too expensive or whatever, but it has really made its mark, especially in this matchup.
Yeah, that's the dragon killer of a card because they try and Voltron up, you just send them home and laugh.
It's also really insane because a lot of the dragon play pattern is to buy one character and then use kind of conflict characters with your wanderers and your skirmishers to shore it up. But you buy say you buy Neaton Master on turn 1 with 2 fate and then you pass and then like you get hit by fate worse than death, you're so behind.
Yeah, they basically just get a free turn. It's like Time Walk from Magic.
Yeah, you basically get, well, it's even worse, right? Because you spent 6 fate.
It's true. But yeah, no, that card is, if it does come up, will probably seal a lot of turns. Not necessarily the game, but could turn some turns around for him.
Yeah, it's gonna be based on Kingsley to kind of play around it almost. Like he's gonna have to play around it. Investigator, policy debate are really important in this matchup, where you're basically trying to get information as often as possible.
Yeah, almost play like a swarmy tactic in the beginning, just to get those out of the hand with the investigators and such, making sure they're not even there. Policy debate, taking those out, and then going for the Voltron up.
It almost plays like the crab matchup I felt, where you kind of spam small guys first until you get like a board state. Because the Scorpion player's only on 1 assassination also, so spamming 2s isn't even that bad.
No, it's going to be interesting. Because, yeah, it's interesting which matchups you have to play more like a crab than others. Because things like Way of the Crab in Crab is like you can't play your big guys, where a Fate Worse Than Death, while not as, I'd say, as good as Way of the Crab, it might be.
I think it's a little bit different, mostly because it also has a silence effect, where it blanks the card.
Mm-hmm.
But
just making it ignored for the turn, basically.
Yeah, like Way of the Crab is a very unique card because of how cheap it is, and it's kind of just in your mind all the time. I mean, a Fate Worse Than Death, the Scorpion player is just passing, like they play one character and they pass, and then they have 8 fate, and you're like, well, is it Kachiko? Is it a Yojimbo? What am I getting Fate Worse Than Death? Like, it's just so many different angles that the Scorpion player can come from.
Exactly.
One thing to note is the Scorpion player does not have any political attachments.
Yeah, I had just noticed that he's preferring the fine katana over the fan. I wonder if it's just let's see.
Well, Scorpion, I think Scorpion has per fate cost. They have the highest base political stats out of any clan, if I am not mistaken.
Yeah, with things like Haru and stuff like that.
Yeah, you have Hiroi, you have Actress is a 3, even their one, the Liar is a 3.
Yeah, Liar being 3 is great. So that's it can almost be as
I mean, he can solo
quote
he can
unquote
take
man.
provinces by himself. Like if you get favor, you can just send in the Liar as a 4 attacker.
Yeah, that best one, and he replaces himself with sincerity. So that's
And he
good.
has no glory, so Forged Edict doesn't hurt him. I'm not complaining, I promise.
Nah, he's a great card.
He is very, very strong.
So yeah, it makes sense to go with the military buffs over the political buffs.
Just waiting for Kingsley and Yaba to make a game and let us know. Let's see. We got 14 viewers. We are just
Whoa.
becoming real popular.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
it's
this is
interesting
a,
to see how this match is going to play out because they're both playing very similar looking conflict decks in terms of like same number of policy debates, same number of court games, same number of charge, same number of bonsais, same number of assassinates. It's going to come up to more of like who can play those better than the other person.
yeah. This is a very skill matchup I found. I think it does favor Scorpion, but I don't think it's so favored that the Dragon player can never win. But I do feel like if the Scorpion drew their perfect hand and Dragon drew their perfect hand, the Scorpion player would win all the time.
Yeah, definitely, especially with their characters being a little bit more disruptive as well, with things like Hirue and not Illusionist. Although that can help. No, is he playing? Yes, the Sinister Soshi.
Plagiarist is
a lot
really,
of it.
really strong against Dragon. Also, Plagiarist copying Fury and stuff is very strong.
Mm-hmm. He gets to play his best cards, basically.
Yeah, he is playing 2 Cloud the Mind, and the Scorpion player has, it looks like, 3 Illusionists, 3 Soshi, and 3 Outcasts. So he has the full 9 Shugenja, so his Cloud the Minds shouldn't have a problem being turned on.
Yeah, same thing with. Looks like in Kingsley's list, he's also running the Shigenja, Swordsmith, and the
Yokuni.
Yokuni.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I learned the fun way that Yokuni was also Shigenja when I was back when Core was still a thing.
Oh, yeah.
I played Crab with a Phoenix Splash, and I was running against the waves because I found it was really good with Witch Hunter, and he was attacking with Yokuni. I'm just like, against the waves, you're Yokuni because I could do that apparently, and it was pretty good.
Alright, Vince, the game's up. The password is Discord.
All right.
Alright, let me go ahead and adjust my settings for the stream.
Okay. I get this where I got both deck lists and chat going just in case.
Alright, so looks like we're just doing mulligans right now. And it looks like Kingsley won the die roll, so he has chosen to go second.
A fair choice. Gets him that extra fate for going second and the potential to pass.
Yeah, he's told me many times that he said he would take second in every single matchup, and his words exactly were, "I'll take second in every matchup, and if my opponent has a Lions Pride Brawler or a Challenger, I will be very annoyed."
Yeah, makes sense. No, especially in something like Crab where you want that extra fate. It plays a lot similar in Dragon where you're trying to Voltron, so getting the extra fate's going to give you the better conflict.
Also, being being able to, if you play Neaton Master on turn 1 and like you get to use him fully, you can just participate in every conflict with that character basically.
Oh yeah.
So you're not even punished for defending basically.
No, you just stand him up, put the Pathfinder's Blade on him.
Yep.
That seems good. So Kingsley's decided to keep all of his Dynasty cards. So either he got a nuts flip or he got something he can work with.
I'm trying to think of like what I would want in this matchup. Like, I'm imagining one of his cards is probably Doom Shigenja. Doom Shigenja is very
Shigenja
strong.
for sure. I'd imagine an Investigator would be important. Possibly a Retsugu, just because the Scorpion has a lower military.
That is
so
true.
You can try and bully duel him out a little bit.
And they tend not to invest a lot of fate on their guys.
Mm-hmm.
So like they usually just putting 1 fate on their guys for edict material basically.
Yaba sends 1 back, so sounds like he probably
He sent 3 back from Dynasty and 1 back from Conflict.
Missed that. There we go.
Oh, this is a really good flip from Kingsley. It's not quite perfect. Like this, if this Mendicant was a Doom Shigenja, I think it would be perfectly like what he was looking for.
Oh yeah, and even Medican's still not that bad. It's not got the stats prowess of the Shugenja. You can at least keep it around for a few turns.
So Yaba plays Rumor Monger, passes, very, very traditional Scorpion,
Yep.
starting the turn with 5. So Kingsley puts none on the Mendicant, so he just plays 2 guys.
Yep. He's just trying to avoid some blowout and just get some filtering on his top deck with the Medican. It looks like.
Yeah, he's probably gonna mulligan this Imperial Palace. So that's gonna be at least one of the cards he sees with the Mendicant will be on his next flop.
Mm-hmm.
So Yaba has 5 fate here, and so
Both bidding 5, of course.
yeah, of course, because Kingsley has this favorable ground. It's not as bad if he plays like a Yojimbo, because you can't really sneak past.
Yeah, no, favorable ground is going to make this matchup a lot less coverted out.
The real important thing to note is if Yaba wants to go really aggressive, he can just Fate Worse than Death this Raitsugu.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the most awful thing.
Alright, here's the
There's
Pathfinder's Blade. I wonder if Kingsley will consider letting go this.
He's got Fine Katana.
So he's just buffing
Onto
up
the
Raitsugu so he could first action duel if he wanted. Basically,
Looks like it.
basically you just want your guy to be stronger, so if you first action duel, you'll always win.
Exactly.
It's really funny that Dragon has the only dueling character that actually like kills people.
Yeah, it makes sense just based on older stories and older fluff and cards and all that. But I'm also surprised Crane didn't get in something like that. They got a lot of interesting, like bow or move away, but not just killing them.
Now, dueling, from what I've seen in the crowd chat, dueling in the old game was a pretty big deal, right?
Oh, way different. It was either you immediately did so, you had striking and focusing when you dueled, and you used a separate stat called your chi, which is basically like political.
Oh, okay.
And then you had on the bottom of the cards in your hand had a number, and all of those equated to add to your chi stat when you dueled. So either you had a billion chi and just instantly striked, or you both were tied and you go focus, 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 strike, and you randomly see who gets the higher number. I don't like that dueling as much because you can pull off the top of your deck for a strike.
So it's basically like bully dueling or praying.
Exactly.
So we see a skirmisher from Yaba. So he's going in at the far left province. He's gonna covert the Raitsugu, but Kingsley can just move it in if he wants.
Interesting.
It's
So
shameful display.
That's not terrible. He has the young Rungermonger, so he can at least do some shenanigans there.
He also has
does
Pathfinder's
activate.
Blade.
That too, but
Well, so one thing to be careful with Pathfinder's Blade, I know a lot of players get kind of complacent when they have it. So if Kingsley moves in and he can just let go the Pathfinder's Blade,
Yeah,
and then
pretty much.
he gets to use Shameful So like that's something to keep in mind. Is just to be careful when you're using it. It's not always on. Like it only immediately works on the flip provinces.
right. And this is interesting. I think he's trying to decide if he actually wants to block or not. But if he doesn't, he loses the province and loses the card on it. But
We're
he
contesting
gets 2
Void here.
attacks. Contesting Void. I mean, you lose 1 off the Raitsugu, but how bad is that actually?
Well, so he can just move right to in, and he can immediately duel the Rumor Monger if he wants, and he's still
Right.
up. He's still up 4-5.
Mm-hmm.
So the real and then if you use a Shameful Display to get it canceled, that is a military strength off of the Scorpion. A lot of Pathfinder's Blade does give 1 military.
Yeah, right? Oh, a fate worse than death on the Raitsugu.
Okay, so I
Ouch.
expected that. I think that's very expected. So he's gonna lose Raitsugu here from this Void Ring.
Yep.
It really does suck, but Kingsley has banked 2 fate, so he's not like on 0 fate. He's gonna lose Shameful as a pretty big blow though.
That's pretty bad. Kingsley will get a crackback on probably
Potentially, there is still a potential assassination, even though the Scorpion does only have 1.
Oh, discarded a Ninten Master. That's not great.
All right, so if I'm Kingsley, I'm probably going Earth here.
Yeah, makes sense.
You
Try and
just
get
don't want to
some of
hit Pilgrimage. If you hit Pilgrimage, that's just like that's very.
Yeah.
Oh, Meditations is fine though.
That's A-okay for him.
Kingsley did a political conflict though.
To avoid charge,
Charge.
I'm guessing. Although he has
Well, he
no
has no
fate
fate.
in hand, so
Oh well, because Scorpion is Seeker of Void. That is two. That is two.
Oh. Yeah, 2 hits to potentially gain fate to
Yep,
charge in
and with
something.
Method here, he can just buff it with the Stronghold and get a free break.
Exactly. So a quick turn, quick 1/1 break for both. Kingsley arguably losing the stronger of the two
I think
provinces.
Kingsley lost this turn, but he's definitely not as far behind as he could have been.
Very true.
Of note, Kingsley did first action use Shameful, so, or he did use Shameful, trying to honor, and he was going to try and honor and dishonor, but the Pathfinder's Blade was sacked.
Can use Rumormonger just to get out the Shameful +1 -0 if Shameful targets both of your dudes.
I don't think so because I think you can. How does that work?
So if a character would be honored or dishonored, choose another character controlled by the same player. That character receives the honor or dishonor instead. I imagine they just cancel each other out.
So like if I target the Rumormonger to be dishonored and honor the Skirmisher, you then use the Rumormonger to move the honor from the Skirmisher to the Rumormonger?
That makes sense in terms of how that would resolve, because you pick both, then it resolves, and one would be honored, one would be dishonored. Reaction on Rumormonger, move it, and then they just updated the rules reference.
Oh, Kingsley went water. Kingsley's going for a double break.
Interesting. I like it.
And now
Ooh,
he's going Earth on the
Pilgrimage,
second
though.
attack. He does find Pilgrimage though. So does
And
Kingsley
it's-
have a mill buff here? That's the real question. He does have Pathfinder's Blade.
Got the blade.
Now does Yaba have a charge?
That's a good
If
question.
Yaba does
He
not
has
have a charge here,
R.
Kingsley will take this horrible turn and turn it way around.
Oh yeah. Even with the charge though, right? Zugu hasn't used his action yet, so he could still.
Well, if
try
you charge
and duel
Yunako,
out
if you charge
and-
Yunako,
Mhm.
uh,
Yeah.
Oh no, Yunako will still be down one. It could force Kingsley to spend a lot of honor.
Indeed.
Oh, calling in favors. Wow, that's a huge blow. So but another Pathfinder's Blade from Kingsley.
Oh, you're right, Kaseki. He is a Fate Worse Than Death. Did blank his abilities.
Oh, that's true.
because that card has every rule text on it.
Well, so Yaba steals a Pathfinder's Blade, uses Rumor Monger, and discards Forged Edict at random. That was huge.
Oof. Yeah, it looks like Kingsley had the other Pathfinder's
Yeah,
Blade,
he just had another mill buff in his hand.
And what's...
So I actually think Kingsley took this turn that was just horrific for him, and immediately I think he won the turn for sure. He's up on Fate,
Oh, yeah.
up on cards, and up on breaks. He is behind on board. He's gonna get this method back to his hand, and he's gonna lose an honor from this right Sugu. So you can throw Pathfinder's Blades around in this matchup. They're not as good in this matchup. Like, the only province now that Kingsley cares about hitting is Shameful Display.
Indeed. No, they definitely, especially with calling in favors, stuff like that, you want to be a little bit more liberal with the attachments that are, good, like Pathfinder's Blade.
So Seeker Cache and Shameful are the remaining two Scorpion provinces. Obviously, those are two insane ones to have left. And then he probably has entrenched. 99% has entrenched position under his stronghold.
That would make sense. Although it'd be funny to see it just on the back row somewhere. But
I wonder if people will try to do that because of these open deck lists.
it's possible because it lets them put Shameful and get a possible stat kind of swap on the stronghold conflict, but at the risk of a much lower strength.
In your row, yeah. Wow, so we got a double Yokuni and a Doom Shugenja flop here.
This is the all Shugenja flop.
I think Kingsley plays Doomed and he plays Yokuni, maybe with one. I think he played Yokuni with one and then pitch the duplicate.
Yeah, Yukuni 1 plus duplicate. Let's see, that's 4, 5, so puts you into 2, so you still have 2 Fate going into the next turn.
Oh, he's
There's
just
no
not going to play
Swordsmith.
Yokuni. That's fair.
I can dig it.
I can get behind that. This plays around a Fate Worse Than Death.
Yeah, gives him a lot more options in his conflict deck as well. He's still got quite a few,
He's-
skirmishers, wanderers, all that to play with.
Oh, he's going to pass first now and get the Fate. Wow. I'm very surprised Yaba didn't take Fate. I guess he wanted the Manipulator in play to draw an extra card and then use his Stronghold.
That's very likely.
Well, see, this way he'll get to use his Stronghold, which he otherwise wouldn't be able to do.
That's true. They are tied at this point. So yeah, reveal increases by 1.
And then he just
Yep,
immediately
gives him
takes
the
it
honor.
back.
It's a nice safety net, because that's important.
I wonder if Kingsley has restoration underneath this Yokuni.
It's very possible.
So a lot,
Give him a little bit of a bait.
yeah, like you can definitely like that's definitely something a lot of players do. They just attack like a character. It's like I can't let this character enter play, right? So I'm just gonna attack it. He also could have
Exactly.
charge. He could also have charge.
Charges actually looks a lot likely based on the fate count and his hand size.
So he could charge and he could have reprieve. So if he charges the Yokuni on the Shameful, he can then reprieve it and then use the duplicate Yokuni to keep it.
Exactly. And at the same time, the swordsmith did find a fine katana, so I imagine if he was digging for something specific, he probably already has it.
I mean, in this matchup, I'd be trying to dig for, I'm just trying to dig for an attachment. Obviously, the first thing is you don't know if, Cloud the Mind maybe, not specifically on this board though.
Yeah, nothing here that needs to be clouded. Like
We could see a
Soshi
Yojimbo.
is at most, but
So Yaba has 5. We could see a Yojimbo with 2. That's a pretty common play out of Scorpion, from what I've seen.
potential is there. Just a naked Kachiko with no fate.
I mean, well, he could pick
It's
up a fate. He could pick up a
possible, but-
he could pick up a fate off of a ring and then reprieve it.
That's true.
He does have one reprieve. Okay, so we see Pathfinder's Blade. So because Kingsley knows that the remaining 2 provinces do have activations, it's pretty strong to use Pathfinder's Blade. He has drawn all 3 Pathfinder's Blades in the top 16 cards of his deck.
Yeah, pretty good draw from that. Although at the same time, using it all now might be detriment to later. We'll see if he can break another.
Yeah, he basically just needs to break. Like if he breaks, then the Pathfinder's Blades have all done their job.
For sure.
Also, Yaba using Calling in Favors on a Pathfinder's Blade isn't the worst thing. That's one less Calling in Favors he has for reprieve, for instance.
That's true. It was definitely to attempt to not lose a break.
Oh,
And then
for sure,
Still got
yeah.
broken.
And we do have an Edict that was discarded by the Earth Ring.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, he hit the Shameful. It gives him the extra fate.
It does give him an extra fate. It is a military attack. I could see a charge right here.
Oh yeah, charging the Yunako.
No, I meant I mean you can see it from both
Oh,
players.
from Kingsley.
Yeah, I could
sorry.
see charge
that's
Yokuni here.
Very possible.
So he cancels Shameful here with Pathfinder's Blade.
Makes sense. Does stop the break.
Yeah, I think that's why Yaba first actioned it, just to stop a break.
For sure. I'm curious if Yaba wants to try and fight this ring for water, or if he just wants to let this go and just not lose the province.
Kingsley is contesting water again. He is leaving fate on the rings.
See, water would bow the rumor monger, letting him attack with the swordsmith.
Yeah,
on
you
another
absolutely bow rumor
potential
monger here.
attack.
Because
Oh yeah.
well, rumor monger has the Pathfinder's Blade, right? And so,
Mhm.
especially if the Yokuni on a face down province is on restoration, there's the Forged Edict. So we have a second Forged Edict coming out of Scorpion for the charge that we saw coming.
Yep. Now does Kingsley have the second charge?
Oh, that's smart. He uses rumor monger to dishonor the Soshi to leave both of his courtiers honored still, or I mean
It's a great
neutral.
play.
It does mean,
Also, so she's not in any conflict, so it's not like the stat difference is going to be important at all.
yeah. Also, of note, the rumor monger has been used, so any court games by Kingsley will be able to get the right target.
Exactly.
So we have an activation of Soshi left, and Kingsley took political favor of note, so it will not help him in this conflict.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so she now just makes it a tie, which definitely not using it.
Yeah, not using it here. I mean, he really can't afford to lose this conflict. Like, I think if Kingsley like just ties this conflict, I think that's a victory because he just bows the rumor monger.
Yep, he gets another crackback. Although the Soshi could then make the swordsmith a 0.
Well, he has
But
favor.
he left it political, so he gives him the favor.
And
yeah.
he has a Ikatsuki's method in his hand.
He weighed the scorpion.
He's gonna for shame here. I mean, that's the only reason I see a way of the Scorpion being used like this.
Yeah, no, that makes a ton of sense.
I think that's still a victory for Kingsley if that happens. I mean, it's a small victory. Not getting the Water Ring is pretty big, but making your opponent use Way of the Scorpion, which is very strong in this matchup, and a for shame, like 2 cards just to stop one attack. If you commit no cards,
very positive for Kingsley.
yeah.
And he's only got 2 Way of the Scorpion in the deck, so this is his second one.
Yeah, I think a lot of Scorpion players have started to hedge because Scorpion is so popular, and you don't want so many dead cards in the mirror matchup.
Ooh, he did have the second charge, but Yaba had
The third
the
edict.
third forward edict.
Oh my gosh, that is so tilting.
And there's the For Shame to Bow the Shigenja. I almost think that's worse now because he loses the second charge.
Kingsley had set up this turn very nicely. He had 2 charges to play around 1 edict. He just didn't have a way to play around the 3rd edict.
No one expects the 3rd edict.
So now if this face down, if this Yokuni is on Resto, this Pathfinder's Blade is going to do work. We're getting a policy debate here, 3-0. So Kingsley, I think, is just going to bid to win. He'll probably bid 3. You just bid 3 to win. Yeah, so Kingsley bid 3. Yaba bid 5. Wow. I guess it's not that bad because you have your stronghold, but like you have to expect Kingsley to bid appropriately. And so he takes Kachiko with 6 Fate on the Scorpion. So Scorpion hand is Cloud the Mind, another For Shame, a Skirmisher, a Debate, and a Reprieve.
Yeah, so he could have Kachiko reprieved in this turn as well. Yeah, not the greatest outcome for Yaba, but
I think there might be a little bit of might have been a little greedy not to play. Oh, and Kingsley had the assassination.
okay.
So Kingsley uses his 1 of assassination to get rid of the Rumor Monger and the Pathfinder's Blade.
Gotcha.
I think
he was policy debating for the 3rd Forged Edict, but he's already used it.
Yeah, Soto, it's funny. So Yaba had 3 edicts in top 15, and Kingsley had 3 Pathfinder's Blades in the top 16.
Powerful plays.
So the real question is that a mistake for Yaba not to play Kachiko and protect against policy debate?
It's an interesting decision because if he does play Kachiko now,
well, so no, I mean you play her at home in that conflict, right? Like that's what you would have had to have done.
What else did he pass? Yeah, he did pass. Interesting.
Yeah, he could have just played Kachiko and just protected her, right? Like I'm not sure if it's 100% correct. Maybe some Scorpion players in the chat can correct me, or someone on Discord can tell me.
Yeah, it's definitely it's an interesting choice to not do it because I don't think he was expecting to get the 1 of assassinated this turn, but they have dug through it almost half their decks both by this point, so it's one of those decision points that I'll come back and see if it actually is impactful in the game or not. So he's doing a military at the Manicured Garden with the Earth Ring.
Okay, so hitting Manicured Garden... So he only has 4 cards in his hand, so like it honestly doesn't matter, and he has no fate on his characters. So he is safe to attack anything. So Kingsley just doesn't defend. Kingsley passes immediately.
Even with... and he has no fate on his characters, so if he hits a Feast or Famine, he can break it with no consequence.
Yeah, scouting on this attack was perfectly fine. He actually hit the best possible one for Kingsley. Like, Kingsley, him hitting Manicured Garden is perfect. Okay, so Soto's agreeing with me. He thinks he should be playing. He should have played it at home in the conflict to protect against Earth Ring and policy debates.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So we're gonna see
especially where most decks running at least 2 policy.
I think we're gonna see
even Crab.
Based on Yaba's hand, we're 100% gonna see a break here, because he has no way to protect against this. He can Soshi the Swordsmith, but the Swordsmith will still have 1 from favor. And we know Kingsley has a method in his hand from the previous turn.
From earlier. Yeah, so this is pretty much guaranteed break.
Now, what ring do you go for? I think you take the Fate
off
here.
The Earth Ring, though. Could be possible. He got something off of that.
That's true.
But, let's see. Fire Ring's not a terrible idea in terms of just getting more dishonor, but
he's going for
no
air.
Left. Yeah, air makes sense. Just to gain the honor to draw more cards.
It's not necessarily a gain. It's a neutral because the Scorpion will steal 1 from you. So whatever you do, you gain 2 just to put more honor in the pool, but the Scorpion's just gonna take 1 from you.
Yeah, because even on the other end, if you just take 1 from them, they take it back.
Yeah. So against Scorpion, I almost always add 2. Oh wow. Mm-hmm. Okay. So we see. Oh no, that was just the For Shame to dishonor.
Court games to re-honor.
So I guess he's playing around the third for shame.
Very likely, and this does guarantee the break.
I mean, I think he had guaranteed break with the stronghold.
True.
So if you're dishonored at 2, you can box to make your guy a 3 again. So he breaks shameful. So we see 3 breaks in 2 turns by Kingsley.
Very fast.
And he has 4 fate, and he's gonna have a face-up Yokuni.
Yeah, that policy bait stripping the Kachiko kind of took all the power out of Yaba's potential plays.
For sure.
Like Soto's been saying, you know, even playing it at home was going to be a lot stronger.
Reprieve it. No, it could be worse. Yaba had 6 fate at that time. He spent a fate on something.
I believe he spent that on... I actually don't remember.
I thought he had 6, didn't he?
A skirmisher.
Oh yeah, he spent it on skirmisher. So he could have played Kachiko with 1 fate at home. And then if his reprieve gets policy debated, it's not a big deal. He still has a Kachiko with 1 fate.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can, on your Kachiko attack, you can challenge Void Ring and just and protect your Kachiko.
Exactly. Yeah, it's now we're going to a fresh board. He's got the Swordsmith in play up against 3 broken provinces. Yaba is getting to go first, so depending on his flop, he could put.
He goes first, and there's 2 fate on the Fire Ring, which is really juicy. This is not a very. This is not a 12 fate flop you want to see. You want to see some stronger characters, I think, out of the Scorpion Dynasty.
You want to see something costing more than 3 for sure.
Like Hiroe would have been nice going first for sure. I think he's gonna play. Actress, Manipulator, and Soshi maybe. So,
very possible, because Yogo Outcast at this point is only a 3/3 for 2, which isn't terrible. But Soshi is gonna grab something out of the other discard.
One nice thing out of for Scorpion vs Dragon is you almost always get to seal Doom Shigenja, and Doom Shigenja is real nice to take with Actress.
Yeah, I was actually checking to see if there was a Skirmisher and Kingsley discard at this point, but not, because he could get a free covert that way.
That's true. That's actually a lot of people don't know that Actress can go from both discard piles.
Mm-hmm. Just says discard pile. It's pretty sweet. Yeah, he's probably going Sinister Actress and the Manipulator.
He can play Yogo Outcast too if he just wants more stuff on the board. I think Kingsley's gonna play Neaton Master. I could be wrong.
Oh right, Sugu is a good target. Oh no, it has to be a non-unique. No, it doesn't.
No, non-Shinobi.
Non-Shinobi. That's right.
Yes, Raitsugu is also a good target. I've seen Scorpion players taking Swordsmith is really nice too, because then you get to use this ability.
Interesting. Yaba passes, so he lands the 2 characters in play. I'm sure he's hoping for the bid 5.
So Kingsley bids 5. Yaba bids 2. That's really. I think that's not aggressive enough. I think you should be bidding 5 as Scorpion every turn that you possibly can.
I wonder if he's giving up the province rank to just go for dishonor.
Oh, I mean, so here's the thing. So Yaba thinks that Kingsley could 1-bid him and he would lose because he was at 4 honor. And if that's the case, you probably bid 4, and in the worst case scenario, you go to 1 and immediately steal back to 2. Kingsley gets Cloud the Mind. Wow, that's so good. He can cloud this Actress now.
Yeah, cloud the Actress to deny him any type of comeback from Kingsley owned discard.
Well, that's the big thing with Actress, right? Is because unlike Spirit Caller, which is kind of the favorable comparison, is that Actress can actually do a conflict on her own first.
It's true. She does have enough stats to try and threaten something politically. And then, yeah, she doesn't have to bow. She just sacrifices herself. That's a good point.
Now, this Investigator is very strong. The real question is, if Yaba attacks political first, Kingsley I could see Kingsley defending and investigating just to see what's going on with a 9 fate.
Yeah, that's a rough call. You almost even play Kachiko now.
If he drew a Kachiko, 100% you have to play her. Yep, there.
There it
Okay, he
is.
did draw. Wow, that's so fortunate for Yaba. He drew 2 new cards.
Well, he did also get the Earth Ring last turn, so he had
Oh, he
another
did.
card
You're
that
right. You're right.
cycled in.
Don't worry, Soto. Yaba's the god. In 3 cards, he drew another Kachiko. Hey, man. Sometimes you just gotta believe in the heart of the cards.
Right? And I think he still has a skirmisher in hand.
He does
unless I
not. He played.
misread.
So the
He
turn.
did play it.
Okay, so Yaba has a Cloud the Mind for the Neaton Master.
That makes sense. It seems like a good cloud target for sure.
Now the real.
Yeah, so he has a policy debate still left in hand.
Let me scroll up. real
For
quick.
shame. Yeah, and then does he still have the reprieve?
He does.
He does.
He has the reprieve still. So his hand is policy debate, reprieve, and 2 unknown cards. Because he played the For Shame to dishonor the swordsmith.
Yeah, and Kingsley just has his deck in his hand right now, so he probably has something like a Let Go.
I would hope. So what I assume is Kingsley will defend with this. Wow, Yaba's going so aggressive.
Be aggressive, I like it. Yeah, I could see Kingsley here just not using the Let Go on the Cloud the Mind now, getting a defend in, having Yaba kind of commit with an attachment, or if he doesn't, then use the Cloud the Mind on the Neaton to stand him up.
So the real question here is, does Kingsley defend with the Investigator and investigate? But Kingsley should know that Yaba only has 2 unknown cards. Like, I don't even know if that's worth it, because Kingsley can do a political attack on the stronghold, which he knows is in trench position. I think Kingsley just doesn't defend. Oh, okay. So
No.
Yaba pulled back and he realized that
Okay.
he can't go that aggro.
Yeah, because he has the Actress, but it just gets Cloud the Minded, so he doesn't get that free attack.
Yeah,
quote
if
unquote.
if Yaba attacks with both, Kingsley just has no defense. First action, Cloud the Mind your Actress, and then he has so much political in play that he can just waltz over and break that stronghold.
Snap him like a twig.
One thing to note is the Scorpion box only gives +1 defense.
Yeah, I think it's the only +1 because Unicorn is +0.
Yeah, Oh man, poor Unicorn. And
Nah, I don't
Crab
think
is
they're
the
that
only
bad.
+3.
Crab is the only +3. Yes,
And-
every other clan is +2.
And let me tell you, I've definitely been thwarted by that extra +1.
Right? It's real good, especially when you put it on like an Intransposition or a Pilgrimage.
Yeah, then it's
You're
just 8, and you're like, that's so much.
You just start laughing.
All right, so Kingsley does investigate, which is smart. Takes the assassination, so his swordsmith is safe. I wonder if he clouds the Actress now.
Very likely, just so he doesn't get the potential. Because if he, although he could Actress. No, if he Actresses now, that's awful. So Soshi to hit the Investigator, Manicure to gain the Fade. Yaba pass.
Yaba has no political buffs, so he just Soshi's to win the conflict.
Yeah.
And so Kingsley is a fan, so Yaba needs to have a court games as his last. Oh no,
No, it's a Bonsai.
Yeah, he got
He's got
investigated.
Bonsai, Policy Debate, Reprieve.
Yeah, so Yaba can't win this conflict right here.
Nope.
So-
It takes Investigator out of the attack back, but I don't know if that's a good enough trade.
Well, here's one thing. So Kingsley could do military water to ready his. So if Kingsley has a let go, he let goes the Cloud the Mind. I'm assuming he has a let go. He's drawn more than half of his deck.
Oh yeah.
So he let goes the Cloud the Mind. He military with the Master, forcing. Oh, Tattooed Wanderer. Oh, is this just a break? I think this is just a break.
Let's see. So you got Neaton at 3, and then Swordsmith. If he's going political.
No, it's 100% a break because the Soshi has already been used, and we know Yaba's hand has no way to defend. So Kingsley just coverts past the Kachiko, and that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9, 10 actually. Kingsley has 10, and he only needs to get to 6. Yep. 100% a break here. Oh no, we have Actress.
Oh, Kingsley didn't Cloud the Mind the Actress.
Yeah, he needed to Cloud if he Cloud the Mind's the Actress, it's 100% a win. So Actress can get Ratsugu here, and he can duel the
Well, he's already declared the conflict, so at this point, Yaba gets the first action. So he Actressed into this Shugenja. But
I think that's wrong.
To get the Shugenja?
Yeah, if you get Ratsugu, you can duel this Swordsmith.
That makes more sense. He's probably looking at it stat-wise versus...
I
versus
actually don't think it
abilities.
matters. So it's 3. It's breaking right now. Yaba has no political buffs in his hand, and Kingsley still has +2 from his box. And Kingsley with a very, very impressive performance. I am.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
first turn looked bad, and then it's like, no wait, I got this. Breaks
Yeah.
the second province. Next turn breaks the third. Is this turn 3?
This is
Oh,
indeed turn 3.
turn 3.
Yep.
Turn 3 kill.
Turn three victory. Just kind of just showing the power of Dragon, I guess.
Yeah.
This didn't even like. What was funny about this game was it wasn't even like a traditional Dragon victory where he Voltron a bunch of guys. His first break was with a 1-cost 1/1.
Yeah, just Medicant plus
Method.
Method.
Mendicant plus method. Yeah.
Very strong. But hitting 3 Pathfinder's Blade, it's all on the back of that
I
card.
mean, yes and no. They could have been katanas and fulfilled the same goal, right? Like,
Very true.
he wasn't really
No,
using them for their abilities. He was just using them for military buff.
No, it's more jab at, sideshow and such. But
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Let's see if we can get Kingsley in here for an interview.
That'd be great. Get his words on this very quick, beat down of the Scorpion.
Yeah, I'm just gonna ask him about that first turn. If you. Oops. Huh. My Discord just freaked out. Vince, you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I can.
There we go.
Let me. There we go. How's it going, sir? Oh,
Hey, can you guys hear me?
yeah, we can hear you now. Congratulations on your victory.
Uh,
That was very, very impressive. I'll say that first.
Thank you.
Very quick, very handed win
Well,
from the Scorpion.
so chat on turn 1 when you got face worse than death, chat was just like saying rip dragon, like they were doubting you, and then you just immediately go watch yo hold my beer, watch this, and you just go for 2 breaks on turn 1 after getting fate worse than death.
Yeah. The Fate Worse Than Death is a strong card, but in that situation, I think sometimes, especially with characters that have lower glory values where dishonor isn't such a big deal, the ability to stand the character back up with the air ring, or if you're playing Lion or Lion Splash with Ready for Battle, means that Fate Worse Than Death isn't quite as good removal as people think at first glance.
That's
Because
fair.
a lot of people sort of assume, Fate Worse Than Death, it does like everything bad that can happen to somebody.
Except it
You get
still allows
dishonored,
them
you
to
get sent
attack.
home, you lose fate, you get blanked. But if there's some way to stand the character up, you still have your stats. And in that case, he had some pretty good stats. So he was able to get another break. That went pretty well for me, all in all. I think, despite the Fate Worse Than Death, I actually think I was up after the first turn.
Yeah, we said that. So after the fate worse than death hit, you were definitely down. I saw the break coming, so I thought you were gonna be even because you had a fate advantage. But then you got the second break.
Yeah.
Now the turn. So how annoying was it that he had all 3 edicts? Because I know you set up the charge turn. So when you didn't play the Yokunis, I'm like he's just got to he's gonna charge here. Like it was very obvious. Now did you have a reprieve in your hand?
I didn't have a reprieve in my hand. My plan was to just charge in. I figured I might get a reprieve or I might draw one with the swordsmith.
And worst case, you just charge the one on the broken province that's gonna go away anyway.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. So I was thinking, if I can get a reprieve with card draw, Earth Ring, or with swordsmith, then I can keep that Yokuni, then use the dupe next turn.
Mm-hmm. That's what I had was wondering.
And at that time, I believe I actually had 2 charges in my hand. I think I drew them both on the first turn, though I don't quite remember.
Oh, okay.
So I was thinking, I have 2 charges. I discarded a Forged Edict already with the Earth Ring or something.
Yeah, it was the Earth Ring discarded an edict. So that's why when he edicted you again, I'm like, okay, he had 2, and then you had the second charge. I'm like, oh, this is great. And then he just was like, nope, third edict.
Yeah, so that slowed me down a bit, though I'm not sure I could have broken that turn even if the charge had gone off. So maybe it wasn't that big a deal.
That's fair. The only thing that I noticed, so we were asking in chat, so the turn that you policy debated him and made him discard the Kachiko, that obviously really messed his turn up.
He could have used Bayushi Manipulator to tie the debate.
I think he had used the Manipulator on the draw.
Oh.
Yeah, he'd used
that's
Manipulator
right.
on draw.
I'd actually forgotten that. That's a good point.
So what I was saying was, after his Manipulator becomes dishonored, I think he should play Kachiko at home with 1 fate, because he had 6 fate.
Yeah, that's quite possible.
And then he's safe, so then he can challenge Void Ring on his attack with Kachiko, and then protect his Kachiko for a turn.
Yeah, I think the situation there was, I think he wanted to play his stuff to bow me and so on. But I agree that playing the Kachiko at home would have been nice. I think Kachiko is quite strong. Unfortunately, on the last turn, he did play her from hand, and that time I had a covert to just get around her.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, you had a covert to get around her, and then also, I think you would have broken anyway. So if you just do a mill attack. So like say you don't have the covert, right? You just mill attack.
Yeah.
And then you do water, and then if you don't break, you just stand your investigator. Did you have a let go? I'm assuming you had a let go.
I actually didn't.
Wow.
I did not draw any let goes, despite having 3 in the deck.
Yeah. So so I saw you had drawn over half your deck. I thought you had a let go for the cloud. So then I was just like, you're just gonna stand this investigator.
I wish.
Now here's a quick question for you. Him getting back the Doom Shigenja, do you think that's correct, or would you be more scared of him getting back the right Sugu?
Oh, no, I think Red Sugu would have been correct. I quite assumed that he was going to do Red Sugu and
then duel your Swordsmith, right?
Yeah, that's right. Because even if I did have military buffs, but it actually wasn't possible.
Well, he had a bonsai too, because you saw his hand, so he also
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't possible for me to buff high enough that I could reliably duel him because he had significantly more honor than me at that point. However, I think I had all 3 ornate fans in hand, so I think or maybe I played 1 on the investigator. Yeah, I played 1
on the investigator.
So I think it would have been possible for the Newton Master to win anyway.
Well, you win even without any fans in your hand, because so after he kills your Swordsmith, your method goes back to your hand, and so you just method your Newton Master.
Yeah, that's right.
And method plus your box makes your Newton Master 9 versus 2 plus 6, so you break there.
Yep.
Very handy. And just double checking back in the logs here, he actually did manipulator that policy debate. He was just
he manipulated the policy, but he did do it. Okay.
Oh, he had just bid like something lower.
He actually bid 5 to your 3. He manipulated up to 6, so it was 6 to 5. But so Doom Shigenji was still 6 to his 5.
Oh, why did you do it then? That doesn't make sense. Okay, whatever.
I think he just miscounted.
Very likely.
Yeah, that's fair. I suspect he may not have realized that I was going to bid high.
Yeah, because the manipulator was also dishonored, so it was 0.
Yeah, that's right.
That might have been the thing. So he thought he was gonna tie you, and then he actually just ended up not being able to tie you.
Yeah, that's rough. The manipulator is actually quite.
Oh no, Vince. The 6 to 5 is draw step. Yeah, this is
that is the conflict.
I already left the game, so I think I cannot.
No, I have it right here. Kingsley plays policy debate. Doom Shigenja challenges Bayushi Manipulator to political duel. Both have chosen a bid. Kingsley reveals a bid of 3. Yaba reveals a bid of 5. There's no manipulator.
Oh, I'm misreading it. Yep, my apologies.
So he just actually couldn't win if you had bid 3 because you just bully dueled him.
Yeah, and I see now that he indeed used the manipulator to get an extra card in the draw phase, which explains why he didn't use it there.
Yeah,
I like Bayushi manipulator. I thought he was okay in core. I think he's gotten a lot better with the debate where it is.
For sure, yeah, with the amount of just like spot dueling basically.
Yeah.
No, that was oh god.
I think bidding high in duels is pretty wise in a lot of situations, especially policy debates, because I was quite prepared to lose honor in order to see his hand and get something.
Now the real question is, on the last turn he only bid draw 2, which I think is a mistake. So like, do you think you would ever, like, I think I would bid 5 there, and if my opponent 1 bids me there, I would accept my loss because I don't think I can win. I don't think I can win by drawing 2 cards. You know what I mean? Like I think the play that he made was a play to not lose, but not a play to win, which is something a lot of players do. Is they play not to lose.
Yeah. How much honor did he have at the start of the turn?
4. He had exactly 4. So if you 1 bid him, he does immediately lose.
I would probably have bid 4 in that situation so that I don't immediately lose. I can Scorpion Stronghold to get a back up
Sure,
to
sure.
2.
But two can't be right. I think you have to go for 4 there.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think I'm not winning because he knows what his hand is too, right? Like he knows that he has a policy debate and he has cards that don't help him win conflicts.
That's true. I do think it's possible that he was hoping. So he had drawn the assassination and the Kachiko, is that correct?
Say that one more time.
He drew the assassination and the Kachiko.
He drew
with his
assassination,
2 cards.
Kachiko, and Bonsai were the 3 unknown cards.
Oh,
so
he
he had
said
an
he was
he had an
drew.
Earth Ring and then the two cards from his draw step.
Yeah. I mean, if he had already had, I don't know, I think trying to enable assassination is wise. There's also sort of a problem where Kitsuki Investigator is really oppressive in this sort of situation.
Yeah, if he doesn't get hit by a Fate Worse Than Death, like Investigator is very strong.
And even if you have the Fate Worse Than Death, the Investigator will use his action as the first thing on defense.
On defense, yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, Fate Worse Than Death is a really good card. A lot of people were skeptical of it at first, but I actually think it's one of the best cards. It's one of the cards that I most dislike seeing as Dragon. But I mean, as this game showed, Fate Worse Than Death is something that's completely survivable.
For sure. Like I think it's something that it's something that the Dragon players had to learn to play around, basically. Like you have to kind of change your game plan a little bit and just kind of adapt to it being played. And I think Scorpion players might be relying on it a little too much, and just like in this situation, it looked like your opponent played it and it's just like, oh cool, I don't have to worry about this character again.
One thing that I'll say is that I kept a start that I think is not necessarily. I actually kept my whole start, so that was.
It was Mendicant, Raitsugu, Favorable Ground, and Imperial Palace.
Yeah, so I was explicitly thinking if he has Fate Worse Than Death, Fate Worse Than Death Raitsugu isn't so bad.
So
relative to like Fate Worse Than Death on a solo Niten Master start or something like that.
So we were predicting your start because you kept your entire Dynasty flop. So in predicting it, I'm like, it's Doom Shugenja, 2 holdings, and then a 3-drop. So Vince said Raitsugu, and once it flipped up, I'm like, oh, it's almost that. It's just Mendicant instead of Doom Shugenja.
Yeah, so I would have loved to see that as well. Yeah, the Mendicant actually ended up being pretty cool because
you get to discard the Palace.
Really strong with holdings. So I looked at my Palace, and I think the cards that I saw were Investigator, Doom Shugenja, and Initiate. And so I was like, okay, I'll put Doom Shugenja on top because my guys have left play this turn, so I want cheap, good stats.
So you just discard the Palace and immediately flip a Doom Shugenja. That's smart.
Right, but if the next 3 cards were things that were going to be unimpactful, I might have kept the Palace. The Palace can sometimes be really tight.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I know that you are pretty aggressive to discard it if you have something coming or if you just need something. Like I've seen you just kind of discard it and just accept it.
Yep. I mean, my philosophy in general is that you want to see your best cards, and if you have a card that's good but not great, you should still discard it to try to get to your best stuff.
That is very reasonable. The only other question that I guess one last thing is, it looks like you're going to be playing against a Crab player.
Okay.
In your next round. How do you feel that matchup is since we have Vince here?
I think that the two matches that can be the most challenging for Dragon are definitely Dragon Scorpion and Dragon Crab. Dragon versus Scorpion and Dragon versus Crab.
Oh yeah, not splash wise.
Yeah. And however, I don't think that these matchups are actually negative. I think that they are instead close to like 50-50 matchups, and Dragon just has advantaged matchups against almost everybody else.
So you would just you would qualify these matchups as like in some card games they're called skill matchups.
Yeah, I think it will hopefully be a good close game. One thing that I'll say is that I think that playing against Crab, you have to play quite differently than playing against other factions.
I agree.
And I do think that that's perhaps complicated enough that it can be a very hard matchup to begin with. I think that Scorpion is actually pretty similar, where there are things that you have to watch out for that you don't need to worry about in other matchups. And
it's actually something we were discussing, where Scorpion, you almost have to play against them like you would a Crab player with something like a Fate Worse Than Death.
Yeah, anything a Fate Worse Than Death can be even more annoying because, unlike Way of the Crab, you can't shield from it by just having a cheap character to take the hit. But yeah, I think that if you want to play dragon and you want to do well with dragon, I think one of the things that is most useful to do is simply to practice the scorpion and crab matchups, because I think those are the matchups that are the hardest at first. I think both of them are like entirely winnable matchups. I don't think dragon is even necessarily disadvantaged against them. But I think that you have to learn some things, because if you just play the default same strategies you'll use for everyone else, you'll get wrecked.
Yeah, I think it's just a learning curve basically. It's just it's breaking bad habits basically.
I agree.
So
I think
go ahead.
I think with crab in particular, you can get wrecked.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah. I think Crab. When it comes to like players breaking their habits, Crab does it very quickly in stuff you can't do. It's like you just can't buy Neat and Master naked and be like, I'm gonna win.
Yeah. In fact, it can even, if they have the dream scenario, they can even get you, even if you have a small character as well.
In Fate phase or with assassination, like
Yeah, assassination, way the crab combo is strong. You can counter that by having your own assassination to kill the small guy, or by playing
reprieve
a
is
conflict
really good.
character or a reprieve. But it's still strong.
I've having played Crab, it actually gives me like I can see these tricks coming because I'm like, oh, what would I do in this scenario? And so that just kind of like gets the matchup a little bit easier.
Yep.
So are you going to be joining me to cast the next game?
When is that?
I think Vince's game is in an hour.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
right
cast
about
in
an
an
hour.
hour. Yeah, for sure, man.
All right, so we're going to be casting Vince's game, a top 32 match actually.
Oh, sweet.
So we have a top.
Is that the first match at that level that's going to be broadcast?
Yes.
Excellent.
We have some more this weekend
Ooh,
coming
the
up.
pressure.
Would you say, Vince?
Oh, the
You
pressure.
said the pressure.
Oh yeah. We have two more coming up this weekend in the top 32, but this will be the very first one. It'll be Vince versus Goblin Guide, Lion versus Crab.
Oh, that should be exciting.
Yeah, he's got a very interesting
Yeah,
line splash.
we'll
Haven't
go
looked
over
at
his
it
deck list before the match, Kingsley. I think you'll be very, very intrigued by this Lion list.
Sounds good. Shall we wrap this up then? I wanna grab some food
No, for
before
sure.
the next match.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream. Everyone who's watching, if you want to see more L5R action, in about an hour, I'll be starting the stream up again, and we'll do pregame with Kingsley as my co-caster, watching Vince versus Goblin Guide. And have a nice day. Again, congratulations, Kingsley.
Thank you. And thank you for casting.
No problem. Thank you, Vince, for joining me.
Of course,
Yep.
it was a lot of fun. Good
Later,
job on
guys.
the win there. See ya.